Hello, my name is Grisel, and I'll be presenting to you the type of therapy that I decided to apply to the case that was assigned to me. The type of therapy that I chose is solution-focused brief therapy. But before I go into the details and the reasons why I chose this type of therapy, let me give you a little background on the case study that was given to me. The case study is about a homosexual couple that comes in for advice because they're having recently some issues in their relationships. The couple, Haley and Kristen, are not, they don't have an issue in being in a lesbian relationship. They're actually content in being in a lesbian relationship. The issues that they have is that Haley feels that she's being unappreciated by Kristen, and that everything that she does for Kristen doesn't show any appreciation towards her, and she's tired of being like this in the relationship. She can't go on, or she can't live without Kristen, and she sees no point if this does not get resolved. While on the other hand, Kristen feels that she always constantly has to prove herself to Haley with all the little things that she does, and she's tired of constantly proving herself and doesn't know how to show her anymore that she does love Haley and that she does appreciate her. So now let's go into the reasons why I chose this therapy. First, because it's a postmodern approach and is focused on future approach, and is goal-oriented as well. It emphasizes strength and resilience of the person in therapy by focusing on exceptions to their problems and constructing solutions rather than problem solving, and builds the client's resources, skills, and abilities. Also, it encourages clients to do more of what works instead of just focusing on things that do not. And it also can be applied to many instances and different types of therapy, such as family therapy or group therapy, etc. In my case, I would be applying it to this couple who came in to look for a solution. Also, it seems that even it could be overly simple, and it's criticized that being overly simple, it is not an easy therapeutic technique, which takes a lot of skills to be proficient in this type of techniques. Some rules and assumptions is that it works. Like I mentioned before, if it works, keep doing it. If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. If something in the relationship is not working, try something new. Again, I'm repeating myself, do different things. It also focuses the type of therapy that I liked. That's why I chose to apply to my case, because you do small things you do small things and you take small steps, which leads to big changes. And also it shows you that change is inevitable, yet problems don't happen all the time. You could find ways to cooperate as a therapist with the client, in this case the couple. The client is the expert of his or her own life, not the therapist, and that the client constructs his or her own solution, and that the therapist could find ways to be collaborative with, in this case, the couple, which are the clients that come in for help. And that there's 3 types of relationships that's going to be later be seen in the role play, which is the customer, the complainant, and the visitor. The customer is the type of client who goes for the therapist for advice and tells the problem that is having, but is willing to work on a solution. The complainant, on the other hand, says the problem, but he or herself, in this case, one of the partners, is willing to say the problem, but is actually waiting on the other person to find the solution, not the person themselves. And the visitor is just there because the other person made them to come to therapy, and it's harder to find. It's not harder, but it's a little bit more difficult for them to find the solution because they don't see themselves as the problem. And the therapist directs clients towards expectations for previous solutions, strengths, resources, abilities, etc. Directs clients towards present and future orientation, gives clients compliments, encourages clients once again to do more of what is working, orients client to clear goals and focused goals, works on different types of questions like miracle questions, gating questions, coping questions, exception questions, which will be mostly seen in the role play, the miracle question, which is like, okay, think about when this problem did not exist in the relationship in the near future, how would the relationship be? You could scale the question. The scaling question is that you scale like emotional things or things that cannot be measured scientifically, but like how would you rate your relationship from a 1 through 10, being 1 the worst? How would you rate or scale your your relationship if this problem did not exist, and accepting questions as well. How would your relationship be if this did not exist, or how would you cope, which is the coping question. How would you cope with this problem? Taking a break before the end of each session is really important. That's why I like it, because you could give, as a therapist, feedback to the client of what's going on. You could also give them homeworks, assignments, which could be follow-up in sessions. And to conclude, I found this information out of an outside source that's not from the book, which is like a pre-couples therapy, which helps the therapist aware and educate the client, desire to move to closeness rather than being defensive on each other, owning both sides of the conflict, internal conflicts of the couple, also finding partial resolution of the internal conflict, emphasizing the positive, and generalized learning to new issues that may arise later on in the couple. And now for the role play. My name is Marcel. I'm going to be your therapist for today. Have a seat, please. Thank you. So, Haley and Kristen.
Yes.
What brings you to my office today? To
That
therapy.
doesn't bring me here. Well, I feel unappreciated in this relationship. I'm always working in the house. I'm always cleaning, doing the dishes, making her breakfast, making her lunch, making her dinner. And I don't even get a thank you. We spend weeks without talking to one another. I'm a fitness professor. I spend my time training. And I have time to do a lot for her. She doesn't have time for me.
Okay, so Kristen, now that she gave her part of her story, how she feels, how do you feel in the relationship at this point?
I just feel like she's not understanding, okay? Like, I have a very demanding job. I'm a nurse, and I have to be on call sometimes, and I don't have the time. I don't have the time to do what she wants me to do or how she wants me to be. I just don't know what to do anymore.
I have a demanding job too, and you see me doing everything from the house, everything for her.
Okay, so I see, what I'm seeing from this picture at this moment is that you, Haley, feel kind of unappreciated.
I am unappreciated.
And Kristen, what I get from this whole thing is that you probably are trying to prove yourself to Haley in various ways, I guess, no?
Mm-hmm.
So, how long has this been happening in the relationship?
About 6 months.
So it's pretty recent, no?
Yes.
And you guys told me you guys were probably together for
6 years?
6 years?
Yeah, 6 years.
Okay. So now, the focus of this therapy is not just to only focus on the problem you guys are having as a couple, but also to focus on solutions to solve the problem. So the whole point of the next couple sessions is to construct solutions to these problems to make your
We need a
relationship
miracle, not a solution.
as a couple, better. So what goals or expectations do you guys are looking for out of the therapy?
I expect that relationship to get better out of this therapy. I mean, I'm here for a reason. I dragged her here for a reason too. I want this to work. I want us to
You
work.
didn't just only drive me here, okay? I had to ask for a day off in order to come here, okay? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
So what goals would you see then? What goals? Like solution goals would you want to have for the
Maybe she can
relationship?
ask some days off.
I can't ask for some days off. Okay, I have patients to take care of.
Okay, so at this moment, from a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, how do you guys see your relationship, Haley? How do you see your relationship?
A 3.
A 3. What about you, Kristen?
5.
A 5,
five.
really?
Okay, so how would you expect to see, these points, in the near future for your relationship, grow step by step? So in the near future, let's say that these problems, imagine that right now, you see yourself in a couple weeks, probably months, from now, your relationship without this problem, that you guys are having of you feeling unappreciated and you feeling that you have to prove yourself to Haley in probably some actions, to show that you do appreciate and love her. Let's say that this is not going on in the future, that everything is resolved and that you've taken your goals that and expectations, have been reached, those goals. How would you then rate or scale your relationship from 1 to 10?
It would be like when we were in college, and I'll rate it a 10.
A 10.
Yeah.
So how was that?
Wonderful.
It was
We had the
wonderful.
time of our lives.
But we didn't
spent
have the
time
careers we
together.
have now.
But we spent time together.
But did you see with those goals, with those things, with those little small actions, the differences of what it is now in your relationship?
Yes.
Why don't you apply some of those things that you guys used to do back in college? I mean,
Well, it's just that her career takes so much time from her. She doesn't have time for anything. Not even dinner.
Okay, so I see what's going on. You know, you guys, are trying to work things out. You guys care for each other apparently, because if not, you wouldn't be here in the first place, of course, listening. So why don't you guys? I assign you guys a homework. A homework or an assignment to do. For the next couple weeks before you come in for your second session, why don't you out throughout the week and weekend when you guys spend for each other, try not to nag at each other too much, and you try to, separate time a little bit for her, and try to see working out, start making goals and seeing those little differences. So when we come back for the next session.
Okay.